What's up, fellow modelers? Will here. Welcome to the Ensigns Chair. So, as most of you know, everything's been packed up for a while. We did complete our move. Everything's been moved back to our house in Virginia, and we're in the process of, well, my wife is in the process of unpacking everything and kind of getting everything situated. So it's going to be a little bit before I can get my build bench and everything set back up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that in one of the rooms. We have a room or two that I could possibly do it in, but my ultimate goal is to have a shed built out back to where I can actually have a dedicated build studio, per se. So for right now, what I figured I would do is I'm on the road, and I wanted to be able to do models. I want to be able to put something out because it's been a couple weeks. But so I'm going with a little bit of a different format right now. So just, bear with me. Hopefully the audio is good on this. I don't, I've got my laptop, but I'm not going to use that to record. I'm basically doing all this on my phone right now. So basically what I'm looking to do is, I had mentioned before, I posted on my Facebook anyway, that I had bought two of the Bandai models. I bought this one, which is the one I'm going to work on right now, which is the Bandai NX-01. But they also produced, Bandai also produced, I should say. I don't think they do these anymore. I think they've stopped building these or producing these. But they also produced a refit and a Voyager, which all three of those were the 1/850 scale. And then they did an Enterprise E, which I think they did in 1/1700. So all of these except for Voyager you can find for about $150 to $200. So they're a little pricey. The Voyager one, however, I have not seen for much less than $500. And I've seen people asking up to $1,000 for them. I think it's a bit much. I actually got both this NX and the Voyager for about $300. So I got a pretty good deal on it. I am looking to get the refit after I do these two builds. But I figured I would put a video out. I'm going to unbox this and do that, and then I'm going to build this. Not step by step, but I will show how it goes together and everything. So if you're just a beginning modeler and you want to have a really nice model built, this is definitely an option or a possibility. It's already pre-painted. It's a little pricey, like I said, but it's pre-painted. It's pretty much snap fit. You can glue it together, but you don't have to. I'm not going to glue this together because I may make some changes to it later, which I'll talk about when we get to looking at the model here. But other than that, I just want to say that it's been a pretty sad week information-wise. As most of you know, in the Star Trek model building world, we lost Greg Jean, which Greg Jean actually passed a month ago, but we're just now finding out about it, most of us anyway. So I was very sad to hear about that. Greg Jean was one of those ones I was kind of hoping I would be able to meet at either the Star Trek convention that I'm going to try to attend in Vegas next month, or that maybe we could get them to a Wonderfest at some point. But unfortunately, that time has passed, and we're going to miss Greg Jean. He's done a lot of work for Star Trek and for movies of all types. My wife's favorite movie, I know he did work on the sub for that, for The Hunt for Red October, and that's her favorite movie. So he's definitely going to be missed, and my deepest sympathies to his family and friends. And also Doug Drexler, I know his wife passed away, and my deepest sympathies to him, her family and friends as well. And I think it's fitting that I start with this model, since this is Doug Drexler's ship that he designed. And I really love this ship. As most of you know, Brian asked me to build a ship for him. I still got his ship. I still haven't gotten it to him. It's one of those things where you guys that build a lot know that you build something, and I'm just a little hesitant to put it in the mail because I'm afraid something's going to happen to it in shipment. So I really want to deliver it to him in person, and I may have to ship it to him. But I fell in love with this ship building that model for Brian, and now I've got two of those 1/350s sitting in my stash, and I've got the pewter, I think it's Franklin Mint or one of those, did a pewter version of it. I've got that I got at the Skirball Museum when I went last October, and now I've got this to build. So in honor of Doug Drexler and his loss and in memory of his wife, I'm going to build this model. And so give me a minute. We'll take a look at it. All right, so here we go. Here's the box work, the artwork on the box, and just tells you everything's pre-painted. Tells you a little bit and shows you a real good picture of the Aztecs on there, and talks a little bit about the lighting on it. And on this side, we've got some pictures of the actual CGI model that was used. And then on this side, we've got some pictures of the finished model, how it's going to appear when it's done. And so, there's a look at the box artwork. And let's open her up. Take a look. All right, now, I really like the way that Bandai packages these. They kind of put the most prominent part on top. And that's assuming this is how it was. Now, this was open box when I got it. I have verified all the parts are here. But the assembly manual is really nice on these. It's really well laid out, and tells you what you need. Some precautionary notes. Everything's color coded as far as what needs to be cut. You basically can put this model together with a pair of snips. And matter of fact, I think I've got those sitting in here. I hope I do. Kind of need them. Yeah, so basically, good pair of snips. And then I do have my hobby knife with me just in case. And I think that's about it. That's really pretty much all you should need. Oh, my screwdriver. Because there are some screws you got to do on this. So I've got my small Phillips head screwdriver. That's pretty much all you should need to assemble this model. And it kind of shows you here. Snips, screwdriver. And it also shows you a diagram of all your parts and how they're laid out. But I really like the way this is put together. It's all color coded and shows you exactly where everything goes and how it's going to go together. In the middle is a little bit of information about the ship. Some really cool pictures. And just a continuation of our instructions, which are really well laid out. And the thing looking at this, it looks like your model basically attaches to the stand, and that's what powers it, but it still remains detachable. So as you can see in this diagram, you can attach it, and then that's going to power your lights. But if you want to take it off the stand, and if you like to play with your models, this is a great model for that. Because when you take it off the stand, it actually has this piece that goes back there to cover up where the stand connects. So that's pretty cool. I like that they did that. But so there's all of our parts and stuff that we got to put on and put together. And there's some more promotional pictures of what the finished model will look like. Here's the lit and the unlit. And it's going to be really nice. It's going to look really nice. But put that aside. And the first thing we get a look at is the top section of the hull. And let me see if I can pull this out. I think it's kind of glued to the top of the box here. Let's pull that off. Yeah, she's pretty well glued on there. So, but you've got the top part here. It's really nice. You can see that they've got holes where these parts need to light up. All your windows are open already, and they've got it to where your nav lights are going to light up. But it's really nice. The real nice detail on the Aztecs. They look really good. Your thrusters are all in the appropriate colors. Looks really nice. It's really nice and detailed. On the back side of this is our lights. Looks like all of our lights and our windows, which look like they're all one piece, and you just kind of pop them into place on the underside of the saucer there. So that's going to be real easy to do. You don't have to do individual windows. You'll just pop these into place, and the whole thing will. It looks like the whole thing lights up as one piece, and that's how you get your lighting on it. So we'll take a closer look at that later. And then we get our bottom part here. Now this is the one disappointment that I have with this is that on the top section, the nav lights are open, and obviously they're going to light. But the bottom here are just painted. So these aren't going to light on the bottom section. So I was a little disappointed to see that. With all the detail they had, that just kind of falls a little short just to do that. I don't know why they couldn't light these as well if they're lighting the top ones. So, but again, just look at the detail on those Aztecs. Really nice. So all the decals, everything that you would typically have to decal, those are all in place. So not a whole lot of work to do there. It's just the fun of assembling. And here's some more of our parts. We got some of those, what some people refer to as the pontoons, those parts there. We've got the back section, some of our little winglets there. And here is our deflector dish that's going to be up front. This is the lower part of the engineering section. And yeah, it looks good. All nicely painted. Here's some of our other parts. This is obviously the bridge. That part goes into place there. I think one of these is the part that comes out when you set this on the stand. It has to come off. Here's the ends of our nacelles. Now this is kind of something I wish that was done on the 1350, and listen to Jamie talk about some of the complaints he's gotten as far as fitment and that. Maybe they'll retool this, and when they release it in the 1350, I'm hoping that they do something different with these nacelles, kind of like they did here with Bandai, where this front part comes off and it's not in two sections. That way it's a lot less seam work, you know, than what you have to do on the 1350 with this part. Especially back here. Here's the back parts. See how those just come off and those just attached, they're just end caps? I really like the way that Bandai has addressed this versus the 1350, because the 1350 you've got that seam that goes right through here that you've got to work with, and it's really difficult because there are some there's some, I don't know if you'd really call them fins, but there's some detail here that you really have to try to work around without sanding too much. So I like the way Bandai has done this, and kind of hoping maybe we see something like that in the future on the 1350. But I'll just be happy to get the 1350 back out if Polar Lights can get that out. But here's our the other halves of our nacelles. Now these are going to have a seam across the top and the bottom on that, unless there's some way that Bandai addressed it that I don't see right now. We'll see how they go together. Hopefully they go together real nice and you won't really notice the seam that much. But so there's just an idea of how what the size of this ship's going to be, because there's your nacelles there. And then we've got some more clear parts. There's our end caps for the bussards, and we've got some blue for the impulse. This is for, looks like it's for behind the deflector dish. And we've got our green and red nav lights. So still not sure, like I said, why they didn't do that on the bottom of the saucer as well. But what's really cool is this is the lower sensor dome, and they've actually tried to color it properly, and it looks pretty close. It should be a yellowish, kind of a yellowish with a green tint, and that's the way that looks. So that's pretty cool. They actually did a pretty accurate representation of what that lower sensor dome should look like. So that's going to look really nice, and it's going to look pretty accurate, hopefully, once we get that lit up. Let's see. And then we've got, looks like some saucer edge pieces, all nicely detailed and painted. This one's got our docking ports on it, so that's really cool. They've got all that detail in it. This looks like lighting for the inside of the nacelles, I'm guessing, by the shape of these. And there's some of our screws we're going to have to deal with. And I think these parts all go inside the stand. That's what provides the power to the ship when it's on the stand. And here's our stand. Battery compartment. I think it takes 4 AA's, which I have here. So, or maybe it's just 3. Just 3 AA's, it looks like. and the rest of our stand. So battery cover. So that's pretty much what it looks like, everybody. Again, like I said, it's a pretty nice model, although pricey. It's a nice model if you're just getting into modeling and you're not ready to take a jump into the, the deep end of painting and all that yet. Maybe you want to just get your feet wet and kind of try out modeling, doing models without having to put a whole lot of work into them. This is a really great option for that. So, but anyway, that's the model. That's what I'm going to be working on here. And again, like I said, I will be putting out videos of different stages of it. I'm not going to do a blow-by-blow build of this because it is pretty simple to put together. There's not a whole lot you have to do. As far as customization, like I said, I'm not going to glue this together because I may want to make some changes. I don't see any kind of control boards, so unless those the lights that go in here are some type of self-flashing, the nav lights aren't going to flash. And what I may do down the road is wire in some self-blinking, self-flashing SMDs for the nav lights up here and in the tail. So, but I'll have to take a look at that. I also don't think, it doesn't look like, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure yet if these do any kind of animation to them for the buzzards or not. It looks like they may just light up, which if that's the case, I may be able to work something out with doing some type of self-blinking, at least put one or two, or self-blinking SMDs in the front here to give it some motion. But I mean, we'll see. Right now, this is just going to be a straightforward build for those that are interested in seeing how one of these Bandai models go together. So give me a little bit. I'm going to work on that, and I will put out the first episode of this hopefully in the next week or so. Again, I am on the road, so it's kind of finding time to sit and actually work on these things. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. I'm sorry it's been so long, and this is a little bit of a different format than what everybody's used to. But hopefully you still find some use in these videos for these Bandai models, especially if you've never seen one or put one together. We're going to be taking a look at it, so please stay tuned. Thank you to everybody for watching these. Thank you for subscribing. And again, a big shout out to Gus over at GCals and to Cass over at Lake Monster Details for giving me some support on modeling in general. I won't be using anything on this because it doesn't require any of their stuff, but still check them out. But again, until I get the next episode out, everybody, thank you, stay tuned, and take care.